It's me. The daddy would call and be like, yeah, why is Anthony standing still? He ain't moved for like 30 minutes. What's going on? What if he was dropping the deuce? Sir, why would you call and ask about that? Like, why are you even, where's your job? Okay, where's your responsibilities and other duties as assigned? Go get you some business. And the Texas state troopers or the Walker Texas Ranger, whoever it was, child, went and got Anthony from the grandma. And the grandma was like, well, you just don't question a police officer. Yes, the hell you do, grandma. And they never saw that child again for 11 years. You just don't question a police officer. Why? Why you don't? Because they got paperwork. Girl, that could have been a owner's manual for a blender that was made in 1918. Girl, you don't know what that is. Did you read it? You had paperwork. You knew your child was going all to and fro trying to get the child back and went to court and got the thing. Go get that from the bedroom. And say, I got one here for the state of Texas. Okay, everything is bigger in Texas, y'all had said. Talking about I had felt bad and I was crying. Grandma, they gonna talk to you about that when you get to the pearlies, if that's where you're going. Yo, I was in my bed last night and I was folding clothes and I saw a thing that said I just killed my dad on the lovely Netflix. Okay, and I was like, why you did that? Why you killed your daddy? I just killed my dad. It's like you asking me to come watch. Yo, this is in Louisiana. This is in the BR Superstar, okay? If you're not in Louisiana, BR is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, 1 hour from New Orleans, going west. It's remind me of Southern Fried Homicide from the ID channel. That was one of my favorite shows on the ID channel. Anyway, so let's talk about I Just Killed My Dad on Netflix, y'all. Let me just go ahead and preface this by saying this is a tragic situation. With that being said, I might have to light some people up. You know what I'm saying? It's a sensitive subject because somebody is dead. The person that is dead is trash. I think that's like a general consensus. You heard me? You know, I'm gonna try my best to be respectful because I'm not disrespectful now, but I am gonna call a thing a thing. So y'all just ride with me and we just gonna, you know, I don't have a script for these things. I sit down crisscross applesauce on this sofa and just say whatever this is. This is how it works. It's just like a little seat. We are talking about Bert and Anthony Tompley out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The area of Baton Rouge that this occurred in is an area called Shenandoah. Shenandoah is a big ass subdivision. It's a middle class and upper middle class subdivision. Mostly white, ranch style houses, big front lawns, what you would think of in the South. Trees with moss on it and shit, like that kind of thing. It's a bunch of neighborhoods within a neighborhood. It's like a little baby city. That area, the city is very quiet and it's like families there, older people, like that kind of things. Anthony Tompley is a 17-year-old child who calls 911 and calmly and quietly tells the 911 dispatcher that he just killed his dad. All right, and so Anthony, they doing like interviews with him they showing footage of his interview in the police station because this was 2017, I believe, 2016 or 17, when this happened. So they showing the footage from his interview with BRPD. We get the tea coming right out the gate. Now Anthony Tompley at the time was 17 years old, and I was confused where his guardian was because I thought, you're not an adult. Maybe you 7. I don't know. He ain't have a parent in there. They're interviewing him and he don't have shoes on and he's giving me like a fluffy river phoenix. I don't know. That's just what I got from his face and his picture. R.I.P. the River Phoenix. Anyway, he's like, yeah, my daddy was drunk and he was coming after me and I ran in my room and closed my door and locked it and he was trying to break the door down and I just shot him. But the way that he said it was, I am more animated about the way I'm telling y'all than the way he was telling a whole ass police officer after he actually killed his whole ass daddy. His affect was very flat. He wasn't crying. He wasn't upset. He wasn't like in shock. He wasn't shivering. The police officer was doing his thing and asked the son how old he was. He's 17. What's your address? I don't know. Okay. What year were you born? It was either 2001 or 2002. red flags, baby. You're gonna have to pause. That's a pause. And when he told a police officer that he didn't know his address and he didn't know his age, the police officer did like one of these, like, because we did it at the same time. Me and the police officer were like, wait, what? Because you're 17, so why not? And so I was thinking, okay, well, maybe his affect is flat and he's not making eye contact and he doesn't know like some of his information because maybe he's on the spectrum, okay? Shouts out to the autism community, okay? Autism speaks. Let's get that puzzle piece popping, all right? And love on your people who are caregivers for people who are on the spectrum, okay? Shouts out to all the caregivers. 2 snaps. I got off on a tangent, huh? Okay. There was something amok in this very first episode. So we start to hear like background from information from neighbors. Bert was apparently a neighborhood drunk. People didn't really know him like talking about it, but what they did know of him, they didn't really care for him. He was like knocking on people's door, threatening people's wives. And now one thing, let me tell you something about the South. We have guns down here. And then also, I'm gonna say this. Most people in the state of Louisiana, we not wrapped too tight. We a little off. And that in combination with the fact that alcohol is plentiful here. Alcohol is a part of our culture. We party a lot here. It's a lot of people that hunt, so they have hunting weapons, assault weapons, personal weapons. All right, now we loose with the bang bang, with the blow blows out here. So he knocking on somebody's door talking about somebody's wife did something. He was liable to die right then. You don't be knocking on nobody's door with no smoke unless you want that smoke. So in this episode, we meet the stepmama, Susan, that she had met Anthony maybe when he was maybe 8 or so. And that at the time he was like silly and like he was like a normal little boy. Anthony started to become very quiet and withdrawn and stayed in his room all day playing video games. She must be mad at Anthony because Anthony killed her husband. That's what I'm thinking. It's episode 1. I don't know why, but for some reason they wanted Anthony to have a job, okay? The lady who was like his, I guess, supervisor was catching some red flags with Anthony as well. And in that, he had no references to like pop culture things. Now, she did say, well, he didn't know who Tom Cruise was. And I'm thinking, well, it's people out here that only know The Rock as an actor. So if you'll be like, oh yeah, you know The Rock when he fought The Undertaker, it was a thing, boy. I remember we was watching him on WrestleMania, he was on pay-per-view, blah, blah. They'd be like, The Rock was it for charity? Who is The Undertaker? What the hell is pay-per-view? So I was like, But then she was like, well, I was like, good job, Anthony. And she was going to give him a high five, and Anthony was like, you want me to check your hands for something? Like social cues, he wasn't picking up on that, right? And so still in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, well, maybe he is neurodivergent. And in addition to that, we start to hear about how Bert had a GPS tracker on his son's phone. His need to keep tabs on his son was a red flag to the lady from the job, because the daddy would call and be like, yeah, why is Anthony standing still? He ain't moved for like 30 minutes. What's going on? What if he was dropping the deuce? Sir, why would you call and ask about that? Like, why are you even, where is your job? Okay, where is your responsibilities and other duties as assigned? Go get you some business. But the lady was like, he fertilizing pots. Stupid. The lady from Anthony's job was like, I'm gonna go ahead and call somebody. Because after the man died, she was like, and let me tell y'all something. It's approximately 7 people that live in Louisiana. Louisiana is very small. We don't even need 6 degrees of separation. We have 1.7 degrees of separation from most people in our general area, okay? So the lady from the job called a DNA genealogist investigative person, Shayna Landry. Shayna Landry is on the case, okay? So the lady said, hey, there's something is going on with this baby. He done shot his daddy. And she's like, well, shit, I get on it. So she gets to doing the Google, and she comes up with 75 consecutive red flags on this situation. So she gets a little lead. She finds this girl named Natasha, and she messages Natasha on Facebook, hey, do you know Anthony Tomplay? We trying to find out if you are related to him. And they were like, yeah, that's my brother. Let me get you with my mama. They sent the lady the wanted poster that they had posted 11 damn years ago of Anthony Tompley as a missing person in Texas, right? Also found out that Bert had felonies and misdemeanor arrest records for assault. A backdoor Sherlock Holmes, they gonna get it done. To see the police, they gotta work within all the channels, and they gotta get a warrant, and they gotta find all of them. That you let a lady who is retired or who has some time on her hands and the internet, you heard me, get together with some friends and associates, they gonna get to the bottom of it. So now we meet Theresa. Theresa is Anthony's biological mother, who has just been, Lord have mercy. Theresa is the one who printed and posted all the missing child posters from 11 years prior to this date, from when Anthony first went missing. Anthony went missing because his father kidnapped him. But it's not that simple. Bert and Theresa met when Theresa was a waitress at a restaurant in Ingleside, Texas. He had 2 children prior to them getting together. And, she thought he was a good catch, right? She thought he was nice and funny, and he worked in oil. Now, oil, baby, listen. For a lot of people out here, you gonna do you some blue collar work, but you gonna work at a plant. You gonna work offshore. You gonna work at, Exxon. You gonna work at Dow. You gonna work at some kind of something. You gonna work in hospitality. That's a lot of folks in this area work in those fields, right? And so some of those fields actually pay very well. I'm sure she thought, okay, well, this is great. He seems like a nice guy. He makes good money. And, I could have a good life for me and my children. That wasn't the case. He started to abuse her. If you or someone you love is in a relationship that is sketchy and you got red flags and you feel some kind of way, sis, don't you move away with him. Don't you leave your people and go with this person. That's the MO of an abuser, is they're gonna take you away from your support system. So that's a little PSA, and just picture the little star, the more you know, like on NBC from back in the day. But she went ahead and went to Houston with him, and that's when it all started. She was at home one day, and a man came knock on the door, and the man said, "Get your shit and come on. Okay, Bert paid me to kill you. I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm damn sure gonna come over here and warn you. You need to come on and get your stuff. Like, leave. You got to go. Let's go. You got to skedaddle right now." She stayed after that, and she said the next day he came home and act like he didn't just pay somebody to murder her. So she had gotten pregnant with Anthony while they were there, and he used Anthony like against her. She tried to leave and take Anthony with her, and she was not allowed to do so by Bert. So she left Anthony behind with Bert. And, honestly, y'all, if I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, I struggle with that because I'm not in that situation, right? I'm not a victim. I'm not living in trauma, daily trauma, and I don't live with nobody. But I don't live with an abuser or someone who is harming me and who is abusing me physically and mentally, right? So I can't say what I would do. Now, being in my privileged position, I'm like, how the hell could you do that? First and foremost, I could possibly never. But again, I'm in a privileged position. I'm not in that position. So again, I'm trying not to judge people for their decisions that they make when they're in trauma. I'm trying to go get the little boy from Baton Rouge, from Texas. They wouldn't let her get him. So she did her thing and she went through the courts and she was granted custody of Anthony. And she took Anthony from his daddy and brought him to Texas with her, and she felt like she was safe. She didn't have to deal with Bert. She said she kept him by her side all the time, that things were good, and that after a little while she let her guard down and let Anthony go outside to play. Around that time, we hear from the grandma, Theresa's mama, Patricia. Now Patricia said that Theresa, Anthony's biological mama, went with one of her friends. She left Anthony with the grandma, okay? And the grandma said that they had a knock at the door. and that it was a police officer. And so she opened up the door, and the police officer said, yeah, ma'am, I'm here to get Anthony. And she was like, get him to do what? And so she said that he gave her paperwork that says that Bert is the legal guardian for Anthony. And the grandma was like, Anthony, get your stuff. Grandma love you, and your mama love you too. And we just don't you forget us here. Don't forget us. So turn out Bert had hired a private investigator to find out where Anthony and his mom were. And it took the private investigator a little while to actually determine whether or not the child was there, whether or not Anthony was there, because she never let him away from her side. She kept him in the house. She ain't let him go out. But as soon as she let her guard down and let him go outside, the private investigator confirmed to Bert that that is actually where the child was living. Bert went ahead and went into Louisiana court and said, oh, she a dope fiend and she is crazy. She's abusing this child and I need to go get him because I have a stable job. And Louisiana was like, all right, cool. Yeah, go get your son. Go ahead and do it. So he took that order to Texas. And then the Texas state troopers or the Walker Texas Ranger, whoever it was, child, went and got Anthony from the grandma. And the grandma was like, well, you just don't question a police officer. Yes, the hell you do, grandma. And they never saw that child again for 11 years. You just don't question a police officer. Why? Why you don't? Because they got paperwork. Girl, that could have been a owner's manual for a blender that was made in 1918. Girl, you don't know what that is. Did you read it? You had paperwork. You knew your child was going all to and fro trying to get the child back and went to court and got the thing. Go get that from the bedroom. And say, I got one here for the state of Texas. Okay, everything is bigger in Texas, y'all had said. Talking about I had felt bad and I was crying. Grandma, they gonna talk to you about that when you get to the pearlies, if that's where you're going. So now Theresa, Anthony mama said, I spent everything I had to get him back in the first place. I don't have the money to try to go do this again. Like I just did this and you want me to go ahead and do like I have to do. I ain't got it, chief. So she just let him go. All right, because I'm getting nervous. Come on, let's move on. Okay, so and that's how Anthony ended up with his daddy in BR. 8 months after that happened is when Susan, the stepmama, came into the picture. Because I don't understand where your queries is at, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I've never dated a man with children because I got divorced and sat my ass down, okay? I feel like for me personally, it would be a red flag to me. My partner, whoever, has a child that they homeschool, but the child don't be in homeschool. Where's the school at the home? Why don't this child know how old he is? Why doesn't he know what his address is? Why you let this child stay in the room all day? Why we can't go to the Golden Corral? Every time we go to the Golden Corral, you sitting across from me and he ain't got nothing to say. He can't make no eye contact. Why don't this child know his ABCs, baby? He is 15. What you doing? At that point, that's when you know it's neglect and you sticking around for it. I ain't got no time for that either, Suze. So they say, well, why you didn't say anything when you say he never went to school? She was like, it just wasn't, we ain't talk about it. It's plenty of discussions that we could have that don't involve words. You know what I'm saying? Especially as it relates to a child. Reel it in. Reel it in. Now, Susan had about enough of Bert shit. Okay, so he hit her in the face and that's when she left, all right? It was amazing because Anthony has been in jail, right? He's in there on a $100,000 bond. He was talking about what happened. His daddy was drinking and his daddy was abusing everybody in the house. And he wanted to look at Anthony's phone because Bert thought that Anthony was talking to Susan and he wanted to be in contact with her and Susan wasn't having it. And he was forbidden. He was forbidden to talk to Susan. And so he wanted the phone and that's when it all went down. He chased Anthony into his room. Anthony had 2 loaded revolvers in his room in the closet. Opened the door and shot the man in the chest. This is the part where it gets a little sticky because Anthony chased him after he shot him and shot him in the head. It was obvious that Anthony had killed his dad. But now, because we are understanding the situation and better understanding like the environment in the home, and the fact that Anthony was actually kidnapped, legally kidnapped, which is wild, left by his mom, kidnapped by his dad, and allowed to be abused by his stepmom. And Anthony is awarded what you call it, bail. They bail Anthony out. He's released with the ankle monitor. He gotta, be at home, and he can only go to therapy and stuff like that. And we also hear from a forensic psychologist who interviewed Anthony to find out about his mental state in the days, weeks, and months before he, shot his dad. And the forensic psychologist said that his behavior and his, responses to things and the way that he behaves is a classic trauma response. Documentary ends with us learning that Anthony is gonna be on 5 years probation and will not be going to jail. And he also has the opportunity to expunge that from his record. And, I'm going to be honest, it annoyed me a lot because I know that there are so many Black and brown people sitting in jail right now who don't have priors, who have no violent anything on their records, who have gotten into situations because of the environment that they're in, and who are sitting rotten in the jail right the hell now. And they don't have an ankle monitor option. They don't have therapy. They just sitting in there. And that's word to Khalif Browder, okay? I don't know. It was a sad story, but I think that the documentary in itself could have been done better. It kept me engaged with it, but me and my queries, bruh, I got all of the queries. Why couldn't that lady fax that court document that she had from the state of Texas to somebody in Louisiana and say, y'all done made a clerical error, bitch, bring me my child? It looked like it was going to be a happy ending for Anthony. But another issue I had with the documentary is we don't know. Where's the rolling credits where it say Anthony is now a student at LSU online and he is studying to be a veterinarian? You don't think we want to know? I just spent 3 hours with Anthony Ash. You don't want to tell me where he end up at? Damn. This was in 2019. We in the year of our Lord 2022. What's been going on? You ain't want to give me the tea, huh? I took a stall for that because you got to give me the wrap up. You got to wrap me up. Nah. Y'all comment down below and let me know what y'all thought of it. Did you watch it? Did you like it? Did you have any queries? I know that you did because we're the query crew. Okay? We are the query crew. You cannot give us no information and then don't give us the amalgamation. I don't know why I say that. I don't know why I say that. That don't match. Anyway. All right, y'all. I miss y'all. Comment down below and let me know what you thought of everything. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Smear, 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 smear.